Good morning, all you beautiful people. I'm going to do another video on JASMY here this morning. I promise to keep you all up to date on this wildly popular coin. Lord knows why, but it is of interest to a lot of my subscribers, viewers, and I have promised to keep you up to date. So I will do that. Um, Today I'm going to kind of do something different in this video. I'm going to read from notes. I noticed that I do these videos, I do them all on the fly and have a lot of thoughts running through my head at any particular moment. And I notice I forget to say some things, or I say some things incorrectly. And there's no way to correct that because I don't do editing on these videos. I just do everything live and on the fly. And I really don't even look at notes during any of these videos. But I thought I'd try to do that today just to make sure I incorporate all of my thoughts, leave nothing out, say nothing wrong, kind of leave no stone unturned for this particular video. So today our topic is regarding JASMY. Of course, the last video, just a quick recap. Actually, I'm going to say this in my notes, so I don't need to do that. There is something that I'm looking at on these charts, and I want to talk about that today. JASMY is walking a fine line. If this line breaks and they break the trust of their retail investors, it could be all she wrote for old JASMY. So in the last video on JASMY, I revealed a wallet that was involved in price suppression. Jump to that chart here real quick. You can see the QR code there. Might be able to scan it at that size. If not, I will transition to the larger chart in just a second. So this wallet is still actively selling tokens and suppressing the price. All right. Apparently, a drawback in the crypto world was not enough for JASMY. With the high amount of certainty, we are able to determine that the wallet belongs to JASMY ownership. And when I say a high amount of certainty, I mean it's almost 98, 99% probable that even if the wallet itself doesn't belong to JASMY, maybe they've outsourced the technology with the robot doing this consistent selling, keeping that sell wall higher. Um, Even if that wallet belongs to another person or company, the wallet itself is being actively supplied with tokens that look to be from developer wallets. All right, so that's you can view the last video for that. Um, I'll put a link in the video and the end cards. The video description and the end cards to that last video I did on price suppression, if you all are interested in exploring that a little bit further. Additionally, you can pause the video and let me just transition right now and scan that QR code, but I will put that wallet address in my video description as well if you want to explore that wallet on Etherscan or any other blockchain navigator. So we discussed a few reasons why JASMY might be attempting to suppress the price of their own coin. And most notably, we concluded that it enabled business partnerships to contract at a significantly lower price point. Example, instead of paying 35 million, maybe here at the top, when the price of the coin was 35 cents, business partnerships are able to come way down here, and the current price is 1.5 cents. Maybe they pay 1.5 million and enter in here. All right, if that's part of the deal. I don't know that it is, but I'm just saying price suppression does help to attract those business partnerships that might enable uh, the business to take off. All right, it acts as a catalyst. Our main concern with this strategy, however, was that it it's the lack of transparency involved. However, we then explored the alternative option being that JASMY discloses the price suppression strategy to its retail investors, which is you and me, and we, not wanting to lose money, let's say we enter somewhere over here in this general area and we find out that JASMY is going to be suppressing their price. What are we going to do? We're going to exit rapidly, correct? Yes. I think any honest investor would say, yeah, I would rather get in down here than enter here where I did and lose all of this profit and then wait for us to go back up. So the risk there for JASMY, if they disclose that type of strategy in their path forward, their roadmap, is losing all of their investors and driving the price farther down than they ever wanted to. All right, so they're trying to control this price to enable business partnerships to enter and to keep retail investors like you and me from exiting rapidly. Now, JASMY is walking a fine line in attempting this strategy. Move this chart up here because what they are risking essentially is if they're not careful and they move the price down too much further, they will turn support and enthusiasm of this coin into anger and frustration. So today I want to talk about what that line might be and also what I think in terms of how much time they have to allow this price to float a bit before everybody, all of the enthusiasm and support that they did not apparently expect. Um, and in my opinion, they are doing their best to have piss poor marketing, and even their website and logo just looks so generic. And still, they have all this enthusiasm. Um, uh, they're doing their best to not be attractive to retailers right now, and they are suppressing the price. And still, you have a whole subreddit full of fanatics that are, pumped, quite honestly, about JASMY for whatever reason. Now, for me, I've mentioned this many times. I just like trading, and I've been a winner at that strategy. All right. I am 6 for 7 so far, in the red a little bit here because I entered around 3 cents and we're now down to 1.5, but I don't risk any more than 5% of my trading portfolio on this particular coin. I just don't. And no offense to you guys that support it, I just don't trust it, and price suppression doesn't help. Let's just say it that way. All right, so I want to jump to our Bittrex chart because it does have a little bit more history here and talk about what I'm seeing as far as price. We are at the price that I expect us to stay at. And here's why I expect us to stay at that price. You can see these red lines below us is low. That bottom line is the lowest price that JASMY had ever gotten to, and that currently is at half of where we're at right now. 1.5 cents is where we're at, so that was basically 7/10 of a penny. But the bulk, if I zoom out here, see this VPVR? That indicates where most of the volume was done. And that, the further out I zoom, the lower it goes. And you can see this whole area over here is where we had most of our entry before it got over to Coinbase. All right. Then once it hit Coinbase, you can see the big green candles. That's where it started to take off. Now, probably what was expected from JASMY ownership is that it would do the typical thing that it does on Coinbase, pumps and then drops. All right. So this is where they expected us to drop back down to where the VPVR is or where our current price is, and then kind of level out and find its equilibrium. But I don't think they were anticipating the enthusiasm. So what actually happened is we formed a bull flag here. We pumped further, another hit our support, pump further, and we just kept pumping, and that caught them off guard. They were totally surprised by that, so they had to implement this price suppression strategy. All right. Now, I'm thinking that 1.5 cents is the low because honestly, I'm starting to already notice lots of previous support for JASMY has just turned into frustration and anger and lots of questions. And that doesn't bode well. And the more popular videos like this get, and I'm not a popular person, technical analysis will never be popular. I understand that. It's a geeky subject, and I'm not trying to be popular. Actually, I'm trying to do something that won't make me popular because I don't want I just don't like it all. I don't like my face out there. I just don't like it all. I just want to do something that I can provide a little extra income, and it's also something I really enjoy doing. I like to do technical analysis, and I'm shocked at how many of you all enjoy going along for the ride with me in this short time since I started this thing. Um, so uh, I don't count on any video like this coming up the ranks, the YouTube ranks, and then coming to the attention of JASMY or something, because if something like that happens, then they for sure will stop their suppression. That will turn off retail investors quickly. Now, the old school way of thinking is what I believe you know they're doing right now is that businesses have control and there is no transparency. But on the blockchain, there always is transparency. We provided that in the last video. And because there is this level that they can keep hidden, the fact that they are doing the price suppression to some degree, because it's not a popular um, fact yet. I call it a fact. Some people call it a theory, but we're pretty certain that this is JASMY doing the price suppression, like 98, 99% sure. So I would call it a fact. And because it's not popular and well known, they can continue with this strategy. However, and I got to get to the point here. I'm off my notes, and so see what I'm doing. I'm rambling again. If they drop us below that 1.5 cents, I think they're in a high risk scenario where complete frustration from a psychological standpoint takes place. And we now are in an era, that's what I was getting to, where retailers really have a lot of power in investment strategies. We've seen that already from Reddit, Wall Street Bets, and Satoshi Street Bets, how much power and influence retail investors can have in any business. They can make or break it. So you really don't want to risk pissing off investors any more than you already have. JASMY, if you're listening to me, of course they aren't, but and I think that's where we're at this point. We're right at that 1.5 cents mark. A drop below that, really, honestly, that's my point where I'm just like, okay, I'll take my 50% losses on my small 5% holding in this portfolio. I'm done. I don't even want to play with it anymore. I'll do videos for you guys because apparently it's still popular. These videos get the most views and likes and everything else on YouTube, but um, I don't feel like trading it anymore if it drops below 1.5 cents. And the other thing I'm looking at here, guys, is see this descending purple line? That's all. This is all during the price suppression. Price suppression started back here somewhere in November when we were at around 20, between 22 and 25 cents. It wasn't way up here. Uh, when the price got up here, I think that's when JASMY freaked out, panicked, and we're like, okay, we got to implement something here to keep this price down so our business partnerships can get in. All right, so then they implemented their robots and automated selling through this wallet, and that was somewhere around here between 22 and 25 cents. And ever since then, we've been suppressing the price, and you can see this. This is ridiculously uh, un like you don't see this kind of thing way down here unless a company is going bankrupt or or they're slowly pulling the rug. And this also could be a sort of rug pull. I don't know. Could be. You always risk that with these smaller cap cryptos and penny stocks, everything else. But it's very hard to believe this is not a natural RSI pattern way down here for so long in oversold territory. It's obvious that price suppression is taking place just by looking at the RSI. So, final thing here, take a look at this. We're at 1.5 cents here. This is on the Coinbase chart because this is where I've done all my charting. And if I were to measure between where we are today and to where the top of that purple descending uh, line is, we have about 14 days. And I expect the price to sit at 1.5 cents for a little bit longer. But then, honestly, if JASMY doesn't let up, and doesn't just let the price float at that point, I think they are at risk of turning all the retailers off. And I want to show you the wallet here again. So we are down. It has come down. This is where we started here, and it was loaded up with tokens, coins, whatever you want to call these, from developer wallets. And this is where they started the suppressing of the price. And they really didn't get active until the price really started to drop. So they could kind of camouflage themselves in with the drawback, right? That's what their intent was. And that's why all of these coins are being sold during the drawback because they can camouflage or disguise their activity and not have it well known. All right, the wallet is back down here. It does keep getting supplied with some coins from developer wallets, but they don't have to do much at this point with the price being so low to keep these prices suppressed. And you can see also another clue that price suppression is taking place. I've got to finish up this video because I have only a minute left. See this big old sell candle here, and look how flat that candle is. I mean, all of this right here, all of that volume, and still the price was flat. That is absolutely a robot selling off tokens, keeping the sell wall just a little bit higher than the buy wall, and not allowing pumps to take place. And that's exactly what they're doing. So continue this out for another 13, 14 days, and JASMY has a choice to make. They either let her break above and we ride a little bit. If it breaks below that 1.5 cents, I, for one, am out. And I believe psychologically a lot of investors will be too. Let's conclude this thing. All right. If JASMY is to retain their remaining retail investment support and enthusiasm, they must be careful here. Any move further down, no matter how insignificant it may seem, could turn off retail investors forever.